Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम् ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय। हरि ओम। Lessons from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. On sadhana, we saw that all the various sadhanas can be summarized into two main sadhanas, which Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Gita addresses and emphasizes in multiple contexts, in multiple places. Okay. And what are the final two sadhanas or the summary of sadhanas? We can simply say purity of mind and clarity of knowledge, clarity of intellect. So in one place he mentions it as Nitya Sattvaso Bhava, we can call it as purity of mind, and Adhyatma Nitya Bhava as striving for clarity of knowledge. All the sadhana that we do, whether we call it Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Shravanam, Mananam, everything is meant for this. Okay, in one other place, he says, Akritatmanaha as one without purity of knowledge, and Achetasaha without clarity of knowledge and purity of mind, one cannot know the truth oneself, which is always there, ever attained. So all this we saw. Now, in Adhyatma Nitya Bhava means what? To know oneself, to know and always reflect and try to abide in one's own true nature. Know thyself, he says. Adhi Atma, regarding oneself, one should have clarity. So clarity of knowledge or intellect here does not mean on any Bhautika Shastra with respect to worldly existence, worldly name, fame, position, knowledge, degrees, but with respect to one's own true nature, Adhyatma Shastra. Okay. So now when we go back to the very first lesson which Sri Krishna said. What was that? We know that he started this Bhagavad Gita discourse, this divine knowledge, with the clarion call to be free from all sorrow. His exact words were, Non-shochanti panditaha, the wise men do not grieve. Meaning he wants Arjuna to be wise. He wants all of us to be wise. And he wants all of us to be free from sorrow. Not just free from sorrow, he does not say it exactly that way. When the words, when he say the wise do not grieve, be wise, be happy, meaning he looks upon sorrow or grief as some intruder and it gives no way for grief. It is not to be allowed. There is no valid reason to grieve. That's what he means when he says the wise do not grieve. The way he says that the wise do not grieve, meaning there is no legitimate reason to grieve. Okay. When something is against our nature, When something is not inherent to us, it is alien to us, we have problem accepting it. We cannot tolerate it. We do not like it. Example, if there is even a small dust particle in our eye, we cannot tolerate. Eyeball doesn't give us any problem, but a sand grain, even a minute thing, will irritate us. We do not like. We reject immediately. Our system rejects. Any bug, any bacteria, virus, also our system rejects because it is not us. It is not inherent. It's against our nature. So, similarly, we are all against sorrow, isn't it? Is there anyone who loves sorrow, likes sorrow, says it is my nature? No. We dislike sorrow because it is not us. It is against our nature. But we feel sorrow all the time. All the time meaning, if we examine our experiences, it is dukkha, 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 some glimpse of sukha, happiness, again sorrow, 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 then again some glimpse of joy. It is like that. When the sorrow is not our nature, we actually dislike it and we reject it. But why do we feel that sorrow? Why do we feel sorrow if it's not our nature? We feel sorrow generally because we feel limited due to these three reasons. One is we feel limited by existence. We feel limited in time and in existence. So we feel sorrow. All beings love to live. Is there anyone who loves to die or not exist, who wants to die? Sometimes we may see some person who's grieving or who's ailing from some disease and some pain, bereavement, whatever it may be, and a very old or a very sick person who may say that I want to die. But what actually they want is to be rid of that sorrow, rid of that pain only, whether bodily pain or mental agony because of some humiliation or bereavement or loss. They feel they want to be rid of that situation that causes the pain, whether it is body or situation. That's why they say, I want to die. But no one, not even plants or animals, want to cease to exist. Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to be immortal. The idea of mortality, we reject. We sometimes don't even want to think of death or speak of death. We see even in a small living being as a plant, every seed strives to sprout, and every tender stem finds its way through somehow, even budges and bends towards sunlight so it can sustain life, it can live. So wanting to live, wanting to be immortal is there in all beings, including each and every one of us. All the efforts that we do, whether it is right food, exercise, sleep, taking the vitamin tablets that we do, or fasting, everything, all these efforts is why? Because we want to live a little longer, a little healthier, more, longer and healthier. That's why all these efforts. So we cannot accept mortality and we want to live forever, meaning what? Again, mortality is not in our nature, therefore we reject it. We reject it. And we want a sense of continuity. We cannot think, we cannot even accept that we will cease to exist at some point. Therefore, some people take to different measures for our name at least to last long. Some author books, some do something good, some start an institution, some build something. It's all our way of extending our existence. Perhaps this is why we want to have children also, so that they remember us or somehow our continuity is maintained. So this love for immortality, or love to live, love to exist, that sense of existence, that sense of existing forever, that continuity is there in all beings. We all want it. And when we feel limited by time, we feel insecure. Oh, I'm going to die. And that gives us sorrow. Or someone we love will cease to exist. Something we love may perish. And that causes sorrow. We feel limited in time, we feel limited in existence, that causes sorrow. That is one reason for sorrow. The other reason we feel sorrow is why we feel limited again in knowledge. When we feel limited in knowledge, when we feel ignorant of something, that causes sorrow. Again, is this something, is ignorance inherent to us, in us? Is it our nature? It cannot be, because even if you observe a small child, a newborn child, or especially a child that is growing up, every child loves to explore, isn't it? Cannot for one moment be still or not wanting to know something. The kind of curiosity, the kind of how it strives to explore all the time with all its senses, with all its uh, means, through touching, through tasting, through smelling, through putting something in the mouth. He just wants to explore. No, 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 no. Then when it starts asking questions, when the child starts asking questions, we know there is no end to it. The inherent thirst for knowledge. I just cannot stand ignorance. The same way when someone, we may meet someone we don't know, or a thing that we don't know, but when we see it, we immediately form judgments because our mind cannot accept void or absence or ignorance of something. It will build or make up something on its own. The curiosity that is there. Before forming judgments, we try to be curious and ask questions. Who is this new person? Or what is this thing? Do you know about this? I heard something that is happening there. Is it true? What is going on? Like that, we ask. We are curious. Even an accident, a roadside accident, more than the accident, what causes the traffic jam is the number of vehicles that slow down or stop to see what's going on. So that curiosity or wanting to know, that it's inherent. That is our nature. Ignorance is not. So when we feel limited in knowledge and we feel ignorant, then that causes sorrow. The third thing that causes sorrow is when we feel limited in joy, of course, when we feel limited in happiness. We want to be happy all the time, and not finite happiness, but infinite happiness. Infinite happiness for infinite time. Unlimited joy is what we want. We can't accept sorrow even for a infinite small time. So all the pursuits that we undertake in our life, from birth to death, birth of this body to the death of this body, is for these three things. To be free of these three limitations. Limitation in existence, limitation in knowledge, and limitation in joy. To be free of this, we undertake various kinds of pursuits. So what is it that we really want? We want to be forever. We want to know all. And we want to be happy infinitely. And when we feel limited by these three things, we feel suffocated, bound, and unhappy. So when Bhagavan says, wise do not grieve, what does he really mean? He means there is no legitimate reason, valid reason for you to grieve. Meaning all these, generally, whatever reason that causes our sorrow has been summarized into these three things. So what it means is these three limitations are not really valid. Are not really valid. The limitation in time, the limitation in existence, the limitation in knowledge, the limitation in happiness are not valid, are not legitimate reasons for us to grieve. That's what it means. See, Bhagavan Shri Krishna does not want, or he did not attempt Arjuna to be temporarily free from those temporary causes of sorrow. Everybody knows he was grieving there because he saw his grandsire and his teacher, all these revered people, and his own family, his brothers and kinsmen standing there, and he did not want them to die from the war. But Shri Krishna did not try to solve his temporary sorrow at that time and say reason out and saying this is your dharma. He gives all those reasons as well. But he gives that later. But have we ever wondered why Bhagavan straight away in chapter 2 gives him self-knowledge instead of trying to console him out of that sorrow and giving him various reasons why he has to fight. This is dharmic, and this running away from this only will cause you ill fame and reputation. It will give lead you to hell. Of course, he give all these reasons, but a little later, after 20 verses of self-knowledge, he gives all those things. So what is he really trying to solve or remove is that root cause of the problem, the root cause of Arjuna's sorrow and our sorrow and our ignorance. The root cause he's trying to solve. So when he's saying, wise do not grieve, there is no legitimate reason to grieve ever. It is not these petty reasons. All the reasons that we can think of are because we feel limited in existence, knowledge, and joy. And Bhagavan says these three limitations are not there. These problems or these causes of sorrow you think you feel that way are not legitimate. So how can we solve an illegitimate problem? A real problem anybody can solve or try to solve at least. If there is dirt here and that's a problem, one can clean it. If there is darkness and we cannot see what's going on, we want light. Light will remove the darkness and help us see. That is the solution. So for existing problems, for valid, legitimate problems, there can be solutions. When there are illegitimate problems, the solution is not in doing something. The solution cannot be removing the dirt of your mind or removing this or doing that or reaching there or reaching Swarga Loka or doing karma and rituals to reach somewhere, to have darshans. None of this can really solve this problem of ours, which is actually what a notion. Just try to stay with the thought flow. What is the thought flow? Anything that is not in our nature, that is not inherent, that is against our nature, we do not like. We cannot accept. We want to reject. That is our experience, isn't it? And we do not accept what? We do not accept immortality. We do not accept ignorance. We reject feeling limited, finite, and bound. We reject sorrow, which means these three things are not in our nature. Yet we feel limited in existence. We feel limited in knowledge. We feel ignorant. We feel sorrow. That means what? These are only illegitimate problems, or these are only wrong notions. Wrong notions. When these are wrong notions, that is the cause of a problem, the solution cannot be in doing anything or reaching anywhere. It is only in knowing. The solution is not something that is to be made, created, changed, transformed. It's not that I am sorrowful now, I need to become happy. I am unlimited now, I can do this to become, sorry, I'm limited now, I can do this to become unlimited. I am mortal now, so I should do this to become immortal. Then there can be reasons for sorrow. And then there is striving, solutions, as in do this, this. So please try to stay with the thought flow. What is already attained, what is the need for anyone to do anything about it? If there is a real snake, the famous example, then there can be cause of fear. One can try to beat it, hit it, or run away from it. All those options are there. Something has to be done. But only the notion of snake is causing problem. It's only a rope and not enough light, but I'm seeing that as snake, which is causing fear. So what is the solution when this problem is illegitimate? There is no solution in doing. The solution is just knowing that the problem is illegitimate. You're already free from snake. You were ever free from snake. Just know it, own up the truth, and be free and happy. There is nothing you need to do. Hit it or run away from it. Nothing, no valid, legitimate actions can be taken. Solutions are there. No solution because no problem only. So we are already that, whatever we are striving for. We are already existence. We are already knowledge. We are already happiness and infinite. But we feel finite. We feel ignorant. We feel limited. We feel mortal. Therefore, we suffer. So the solution is in removing the wrong notions through the right knowledge, through the right means of knowledge. This is the root cause problem. So Bhagavan is trying to solve the root cause straight away. So when he said, get rid of your sorrow, be happy, he did not mean those temporary situations there. He meant for Arjuna and for all of us to be rid of the root cause of our sorrow, which is ignorance. Knowledge, there can be two types. One, very simply put without any technical terms, knowledge can be direct, knowledge can be indirect. When something is not here and I hear about it through words, then I need to go there or perceive to validate the knowledge. Somebody tells me about Japan and says, these are the things there, or something about a dragon fruit which is not here. Then I hear it through the experience of others. Then I have to strive and do something to get the fruit or go there to Japan. To attain it, to reach somewhere, I have, after knowing, I must take some steps. And through my senses, through my organs of action, and validate it, then that knowledge is complete. This is first I hear through indirect knowledge, then I have to perceive it personally to know it, to validate it. Not just about a dragon fruit or a place that is not here right now. Also, if I want to have darshan of God, or if I want to go to Vaikuntha, heaven, then I read through the Vedas, that is heard knowledge. Then the steps are given to do these things, so I can have darshan or go to Vaikuntha. Some things have to be done, not just hearing and knowing. is enough. But I have to do, take steps, strive, do this sadhana, do the upasana. Then you can have darshan. Then after leaving this mortal coil, you can attain this Paramapadam, Vaikuntham, or Saketa Lokam, or Kailayam, all these things. So whether it is in this worldly life or hereafter, for these attainments, one has to know and then do. Then there is this direct knowledge where it's already attained. Something is already there, already attained, but I just don't know. I'm not aware right now. Something is there veiling it. So the only thing that needs to be known is the direct knowledge, that shabda, the words that are so said, and that veil is removed, and what is already attained is revealed and owned up. That's all. Famous example of the Swakhanta Bharanam Yatha. One searches for a chain all over the place, not knowing that the chain is already on the neck. But I thought I lost it. I thought I lost it, and I was searching everywhere, and I was miserable without it. And when someone said it's right on your neck, just touch and feel on the backside, it's moved there. I know. I just know that it's always been there. Right? Upanishads also give so many examples like this. It's like this man who buys 5 donkeys, sits on one donkey and takes the remaining 4 donkeys home. But after reaching home, closer to the home, he counts just to make sure all the donkeys have followed him, but he sees only 4 and he feels miserable. When he reaches home in a miserable state, the wife asks him, what's wrong? And he says, I bought 5 donkeys, but see, only 4 are there. The wife immediately understands. And she says, I see 6 donkeys. Not only 5, but there are 6 donkeys. So it's like that. When we know it's already attained, what needs to be done? Only our wrong notion, our ignorance that is veiling the truth. It's only up here. It's only a notion. Some wrong understanding, some veiling. Nothing to do. That itself should be a relief, a big relief. But doesn't seem so simple. Bhagavan simplifies it. It's already attained. You don't have to do any physical sadhana of standing on one leg, doing this tapas, doing that tapas. Nothing. Nothing. You are that. You are already that. So all that knowledge he gives in Sankhya Yoga chapter 2, Sankhya means what? Samyak Khyayate. What has been well explained, well told, clearly shown, demonstrated. So in the second chapter, Bhagavan says this only very clearly, starting from the first statement. There is no legitimate reason for you to grieve. All your pursuits and striving are to be happy. Because you feel limited right now. You feel mortal. And you feel ignorant. Therefore, there is the striving to be immortal. There is striving to know, to gain knowledge, and there is striving to become unlimited and happy. This is only a notion. There is no legitimate reason. And then he says, how one is existence. Natvevaham jatunasam. There was never a time when you were not there. There will never be a time when you will cease to exist. This is just not for you. This is for all beings. Meaning, have we ever felt or experienced absence? We might have felt the absence or perceive the absence, nothingness of another thing. Right now, here, AC is not there. Absence of AC is seen, is experienced. Air conditioner. Absence of so and so who's not present is perceived, is experienced. But as anyone, just let's try to observe our own experience at any point of time, even a dream. You were absent. There is no experience in waking, dream, or deep sleep. In deep sleep, there is just nothingness. But then when we come out of it, we feel that I rested well, or I remembered nothing. There was a dreamless sound sleep, we say. We experience that. So the experiencer was present even then. Never ever can anyone experience absence of oneself. That's what Shri Krishna says. There was never a time when you were not there. There is no birth, there is no death, there is no nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Existence can never cease to exist, and non-existence can never exist. Because we are of the nature of existence, we can never really cease to exist. So the feeling of immortality, feeling of mortality is not valid. It's not true. It's illegitimate. It's only a feeling. It's only a notion. So everywhere when he says eternal, you are eternal, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that before time or after time or something exists for a long time. It means time is just a concept that exists in me. Eternity actually means timeless. Timeless. Time is also only a thought. It's a concept. Timeless is what is meant by eternal. When we say earth or something is eternal, it doesn't mean that mountain it was a long time, but it was not the same. The mountain kept changing. So eternity does not mean something that exists for a long time. Eternity means it is beyond time. It's timeless. Time exists in existence. And I am that. So all these slokas that Shri Krishna is trying to say in the second chapter for us is to not to be, what do you say? It is to be reflected upon. And when we go deep into the words and the meanings of the words, what actually is happening is the negation of what we are not. Right now, we feel limited because we cannot accept when Bhagavan says you are immortal, when Gita says you are deathless or timeless, formless, nameless. When it is said, we cannot accept because we feel we are this body, this limited body, this limited mind, this limited senses, these upadhis, these limitations, these conditionings, body, mind, intellect, senses, this complex is me. And we cannot accept that this is eternal, this is infinite, this is all knowledge. So when it is said eternal, eternal meaning timeless, eternal meaning changeless, whatever that I think I am or I feel, I perceive myself to be, all that keeps changing, And that should be negated. When we hear the word existence, when we hear the word eternal, shashvatoyam, nityam, puranam, when all those words are said, whatever is changing should be rejected. We know we were not born this way. See, all this thing is to be applied to our own experience personally. We were born as a small thing. We were conceived as just a speck in the mother's womb. And now we're not going to stay this way all the time. So which means this body is ever changing and therefore it's not me. Just reject that. Reject meaning not literally rejecting the body, nobody can. It means in the state of meditation, when these words are reflected, when we hear it and all doubts are removed, what should happen is the automatic giving up of this identification with the body. When the word eternal is said, when the word changeless is said, timeless is said, this body is not eternal. This body is not imperishable. It is not changeable. It's constantly changing. Even from the moment we started this session, it has already changed quite a lot. Same thing with the mind, same thing with our senses. That's not me, that's not me, that's not me. When we negate all this, what remains? I still remain. There is still I. And whenever, even as those changes happened in the body, as the changes happen in my mind, in the thoughts, in my sense organs, they were growing and developing, maturing. Now they are all decaying. The senses, the ability to see, hear, everything keeps changing. Body, mind, thoughts, knowledge, capacities. So none of this is me. But the feeling of I, or this awareness of I, was constant. Even as I was a child, Dehe nityam avadyoyam, Bhagavan says. And then just as how kaumaram yavvanam tatha, just as how boyhood and youthhood and manhood and adulthood, old age, everything comes and goes, all these comes and goes in me. Do I feel that was a different I as a child and now it's a different I? Do we feel any change? Actually, we say I changed with respect to the body, with respect to the mind, with respect to our abilities of the senses and organs, we may say that I've changed. But the feeling of I, there is a constant awareness, isn't it? All through our existence, all through our awareness, there is a constancy only. I don't actually think I am able to perceive the change or know the change because I am the changeless substratum. Whatever I refer to as I am this woman, I am this, this is my age, this is my weight and height, my color, my status, or this is what I know, this is what I've studied, this is my qualification, my ability, I stay here, I do these jobs, I'm related to so-and-so, I'm someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's mother. When I say all these things, these are all the small I, the relative I, which keeps changing. So that cannot be me. When all those relative positions with respect to the body, all these things are negated, what remains is this fundamental I. There was and there is, there will ever be this constant awareness, this constant existence, the changeless, the timeless substratum upon which all these changes are being perceived, are known to me. So in our seat, when this seat of knowledge, when this is owned up, and what is not me, the relative I, the changing I, the mortal I, the perishing I, is negated, and what remains is me. Is this something different from our experience? Does anyone really feel changing, that one is changing? When one feels that way, it's because of our identification with the changing upadhis, the conditionings. Only then we will feel changing. Irrespective of this, don't we feel constant? See, there is some constancy. That's why we are coming to this class also. The person who heard yesterday or day before doesn't exist. That's a different I altogether. And now it's a different I. What will happen? Although sometimes we come blank to the class. Oh, was this taught already? I don't remember. That's a different story. But there is a continuity, no? There is a constancy in the three states of consciousness: waking, sleep, dream, waking, dream, and sleep. Different ages and stages of life. That constancy, that substratum I, the fundamental I, is constant and exists, and that is me. So this is with respect to limited in existence. Bhagavan says all these bodies, avyakta dini bhutani, vyakta madhyani bharata, avyakta nidhanani eva. All these bodies come and go. Even after the death of this body, you will not cease to exist. In so many places, because he took up the concept of existence first. Why? Because Arjuna felt all these people will not exist. I may also die. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says this is not a legitimate reason. You are immortal. You are existence. You are that constant, imperishable, unchanging existence. The fundamental existence, substratum, is our real nature. So the first limitation has been negated, has been invalidated. The second one about ignorance, very beautifully, there also Bhagavan gives us so many logical reasons why I'm not this limited self, limited by ignorance. I'm not that. So who am I? What is my real nature then? This we will continue in the next chapter. All these profound messages of Shri Krishna are to be reflected upon and try to examine our own experiences. Our own experience. It's not something that is apart from us or away from us, that is not existing now to be done or attained, that he's talking about. What he's talking about is our own self, which is already attained. Therefore, it's not, that's why Vedanta is so practical, that it's part of our living. Only thing we are not aware of it. Something is there that is veiling it. And that veil of ignorance can be removed only by examining our own self, true self. Look into ourselves. Look yourself in the eye, they say, no. Look deeply into yourself, they say, no. So we have to do that only. Look deeply into ourselves, look deeply into each and every experience of ours. Then the truth of it will be known. This is our experience also. Something strange from our experience is not said. We have these two kinds of experiences. We have this experience of constancy that is there. But there is also this experience of the feeling of limitations. This is two contrary things, two extremities. Only one can be true because these are exact opposites. Constant and changing. Imperishable and perishable. Perishing. Only one of this can be true. What is our core experience? When we just dissect our own experiences, then we will know what the truth, at least intellectually, without any doubts, we will know. And as we practice this, try to abide in this, and gain more and more clarity. And as we do karma yoga and bhakti and more purity is gained, this will become more spashta. Because it's already our nature, it's already there. Okay. We'll continue in the next session. That is tomorrow itself, Friday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Priya.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om Ma.
Hari Om.